Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, of course, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Dump or Discuss. Posted to r/relationships July 19th, 2015. My boyfriend, 23 male, pretended to be single in front of other girls while I, 21 female, was standing right there. Is this grounds to break up immediately, or should I give him a chance to explain himself? Our first year anniversary is in 2 weeks. We went out last night to a birthday party of our mutual friends. He got pretty tipsy, but not wasted. I didn't drink since I was driving us home. At some point in the night, I went to go get water, and when I came back, there was a crush of people in the room, so I was standing directly behind him, trying to get through. He was talking to some girl, and I heard her ask, "So, is that girl you came in with your girlfriend?" And he distinctly said after some hesitation, "No, she's just my roommate, haha." I got really pissed off but didn't say anything, just came up to stand next to him. I didn't want to make a scene at my friend's birthday party, but he was going to get an earful when we left. He didn't even notice me for a few seconds and said something like, "You're so pretty," to the other girl. She noticed me glaring at him and left. I was so pissed off at him that I just decided to walk away and talk to my friends the rest of the night. Probably a mistake of not addressing it right there at the time, but I wanted to avoid a big scene if I could. I tried to enjoy myself. My friend, the host of the party, came up to me and asked me if my boyfriend and I had broken up, and she didn't know because she had heard him telling somebody that he was single. After that, I just decided to go home. I was really mad. He could find a ride or crash at our friend's place. She said it would be okay because tons of people were crashing in the living room already. I went home without saying a word to him. This morning I woke up to all these texts and calls from him, really pissed that I ditched him at the party without a ride or without warning. He demanded to know in an accusing voice where I had disappeared off to, as if I was the one up to some shady shit. I'm just angry and confused because this is coming out of nowhere from me. We have a great relationship and have never had a fight. He tells me all the time that he's so happy we're together and that I'm the best thing that ever happened to him and that he wants to be with me forever. And now, pretending I'm not his girlfriend, claiming he's single, flirting with other girls right in front of me? He has never done anything like that before and hasn't even looked at other girls. I don't drink, so is this just dumb, drunken behavior that I should excuse? Should I give him a chance to explain himself or just end things now? I'm so pissed off and feel so disrespected. I can't even think of what reason he could give that would somehow make what he did okay in my eyes. But I'm willing to listen to anyone's perspective or other angles in the situation. Too long didn't read, went to a party with my boyfriend last night. He got tipsy and was overheard telling multiple people that he didn't have a girlfriend or that he was single, when I was right there at the same party. I left without saying a word to him. This morning, he's demanding to know why. Do I confront him or just leave him? Relevant comments. Boy D1211. You made it clear last night that you are single. I don't wait around for ex-boyfriends to give them rides home. Cut contact, the end. OP responds, "Wow, this is perfect. I'm considering texting this to him now." G1214. OP, this is perfect. Text his ass now and update us. You deserve better than that bullshit. Update 1, same day, July 19th, 2015. Update. I texted him, you made it clear last night that you're single. I don't wait around for ex-boyfriends to give them rides home. Don't bother coming back here. As you/boyd1211 suggested. He immediately tried to call me and I didn't pick up. Then he texted, what the fuck are you talking about? How could he not know? My friend, the host, even just texted me and told him she'd given him an earful all morning when he woke up for being such a dickbag to me. He denied everything and said he has no idea what she's talking about. They got into a fight about it because he stuck to his guns and claims he never said any of that stuff. I have a feeling he's going to pretend he doesn't remember or blacked out as a way to get out of this. He said he's getting a ride back to my place now. I'm considering not answering the door, but what if he really doesn't remember? I kind of don't care though. He's coming here now, what do I do? DSG1214 comments, ugh, I mean, was he blackout drunk? Either way, this would probably be a deal breaker for me. Though I might be curious to see what he has to say for himself via email. I wouldn't talk with him in person, he's only going to try to sweet talk you, make excuses, and make you feel crazy. Not worth it. OP responds, I firmly believe he wasn't blackout drunk because he didn't drink that much, at least by the time he first said the roommate thing. It was like 30 minutes after we had first arrived and he had 3 beers. That's not enough to get blackout drunk, right? And I'm torn on talking to him in person. I feel like through text he's able to get his story straight and review his thoughts before sending them, to have a more cohesive excuse. Whereas in person, I can tell if he's bullshitting me or not. I won't be letting him into my place though. If we do talk, we'll go somewhere public where I can leave if I want. Up All Night 88. I can't imagine anything that he can say to you that'll justify his actions. Don't let him complain about you leaving him at the party. He deserved it. Most likely, he'll just say he was drunk and didn't mean it, or it was a joke. Don't buy into either of these BS excuses. OP responds, this is what I'm most afraid of. I don't drink, so I'm afraid he'll say something like, you don't know what it's like when you get drunk. Dumb shit just falls out of your mouth and you can't control it, or etc., etc. I don't really have a basis to dispute this because I have no idea what it's like when you get drunk. So I can't be like, no, that's not what happens when a person feels drunk. You have no excuse. Lynn comments, alcohol removes inhibitions. It doesn't change a person's principles. Clearly, he's willing to cheat on you. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have tried to while he was drunk. Before we get to the update, I just want to add my 2 cents. There's a reason why alcohol is called liquid confidence. It's because it gives you the confidence to do something you would normally be too afraid to do. Because it removes, or at least silences, that little voice in your head that's nagging at you of, no, don't do that, that's cringe, or let's not do that, this is embarrassing, or maybe we should pull back a little bit. That voice goes away, or at least it becomes a voice that actually eggs you on and encourages you. So, that's my experience with alcohol. So with all this put in front of me, I'm inclined to believe that he does have the motivation to cheat, but the little voice in his head says, no, don't do that, because we'll get in trouble. So liquid confidence boosts him, and oh, look at that, the world's my oyster. Anyways, Update 2, July 19th, 2015. Same post, same day. Update 2, he's almost here. My friend told me to talk to him just to hear the complete load of shit he's going to unleash on you. Dump him, girl. I would. And she's known him longer than she's known me. I'm not going to answer the door. Thanks all. Final update posted July 20th, 2015, the next day on the same post. Update 3. I know most of you will be disappointed to hear this, but I decided to give him another chance. Heh, just kidding. I only kid because I'm still bawling my eyes out. I did decide to answer the door and hear what he had to say, if only to try to understand his reasons behind it. Not as a way to forgive him, but to fully understand why. At first, he denied it and said that none of it ever happened, and that my friend was lying to me because she was jealous of us and had always wanted him. She has a boyfriend of 3 years. He said he had no idea what she was talking about or why I was so mad at him. I just said, I heard you say it too. He said, say what? But then he just saw the look on my face and crumbled. He said that prior to us dating, he had never gotten attention from girls before, and it went to his head when it happened last night. He said that he'd always felt in disbelief because he believed I was out of his league, and it was a pure fluke that I'd ever been interested in him. Apparently, girls never approached him before we were dating, so when it happened at the party, he didn't know how to react. Wait, so let me get this straight. You thought you were dating someone who was out of your league, and you didn't do everything in your power to cherish them. Instead, when you found out that your league was expanded, your first thought was, I can do better. She's just my roommate. Damn, dude. He said he enjoyed the attention for once in his life and just went with it. According to him, he wasn't planning on doing anything, but just impulsively said whatever to keep the attention coming. He swears up and down that he just enjoyed the ego boost that came from girls being interested in him, but he would never, ever cheat on me. In his mind, he thought it was harmless because he knew he would never let it go further than feeding his ego, and that if he'd known that I would hear, he never would have done it and risked hurting me. God, this is such bullshit, because he went from she's trying to tear us apart to this pretty honestly contrived excuse that I was just so lonely and never had the attention of a woman until you, and then at the party, I just lost my ego. Like, damn, dude, you clearly thought about this as a backup plan in case she actually did hear you say it. At this point, I started to cry, because to me, it was such a stupid reason to throw away what we had. I know some of you will say that I should forgive him. Got a lot of PMs and comments saying it was just a dumb mistake, and I say dumb shit I don't mean when I'm drunk too. But I just can't. He broke my trust in him, and honestly, he hurt my pride. I want a guy who can handle when some other girl shows interest in him with maturity and respect. A guy who loves me so much that he would never dream of leading a girl on for attention because I feel like my attention should be enough. Someone who's proud to point at me and say, "Sorry, I'm taken, and she's a great girl," with no regrets. I told him that I thought it was a really stupid reason to damage our relationship, being insecure and an attention whore. And I guess it must have sunk in that I was planning to leave him. He broke down crying too and begged me to please try to forgive him because it was a stupid, drunken mistake. It was so hard to stay strong, but I was very angry with him. I cried so hard because he started telling me he loved me more than anyone, and he was just stupid, drunk, and inexperienced, and he wished he could take it all back because it wasn't worth losing me. I said I was glad he realized his mistake, but if he really loved me more than anyone, then he really needed a better way to show it than pretending I don't exist to other pretty girls. He got hysterical and just started saying, I'm sorry, I can't lose you, please forgive me." I told him that I thought his actions last night were honestly pathetic and disgusting, and they changed my view of him. I told him it was sad that he would throw himself at a girl and lie just to get a few minutes of attention, and that I didn't think it was a good excuse to say, "That never happened to me before, so I didn't know how to handle it," or "I was just innocently enjoying the attention." What would happen next time? How could I trust him to act appropriately and control himself? He said that he'd learned from this, and he'd do better next time, but honestly, I just couldn't get over it. He made me feel worthless as his girlfriend, and something he had to hide to get the affection of other women because my attention wasn't adequate. I know that isn't necessarily true, but that's just how he made me feel. I also told him he'd lowered himself in my eyes and I didn't respect him anymore. So I told him to get out and not to talk to me anymore. I'm leaving a box of his stuff on the porch so he can get it without talking to me. Then I laid on my couch and cried with my dog until I felt sick. It shouldn't feel this shitty because I'm still really mad at him, but we had an amazing year together, and it sucks that something so small and stupid could cause him to jeopardize that. I don't want to be with a guy who values our relationship so little. I feel better today. It sucks not being in a relationship anymore, but I feel like I deserve better. He's been blowing up my phone saying he's been at home crying and he loves me so much. I'm just waiting for him to pick up his stuff so I can block his number. My best friend also just broke up with his girlfriend of 2 years, so we're planning a road trip together to take our mind off things. I wasn't able to go before because I didn't want to make my boyfriend uncomfortable. Go figure. But this weekend I'm going to go hang out with my bestie and swim at the beach and forget things. Thanks for the support, Reddit. You helped me stay clear-headed. I have a lot of hate and bitterness in my heart right now, but I'm hoping that will pass. Too long didn't read, it's over. I broke up with him. He denied everything at first, then later confessed that he did it because he enjoyed the ego boost he got, and that other women had never approached him before, so he didn't know what to do. I told him I don't respect him anymore, even if he's sorry, so things won't work. I'm going to the beach with my friend this weekend and trying to put it all behind me. Relevant comments. When told OP is ending a relationship over a small white lie. I don't think denying a year-long relationship with your girlfriend present is a small white lie. And I don't think it's healthy to crave female attention so badly that you're willing to deny being in a relationship just to get a morsel of attention. I think it is a wrong action to disrespect your partner and lie to lead women on, but I think you're doing 23-year-old males a disservice by insisting that this is a normal thing for them. But okay, Suspicious Confession responds, even if that bit was a white lie, lying to you about how your friend is evil and conniving and trying to get into his pants was not. Sober him, who had time to think and plan, was going to destroy your friendship to cover his ass. Could not have said it any better myself. But yeah, OP is definitely in the right to leave over this because at the end, as stated, lying about a year-long relationship or any relationship for that matter and saying that you don't have a partner, regardless of they're in the same building as you or not, is just gross behavior. And yeah, he was 100% under the assumption, because he didn't notice his girlfriend behind him, that he could try to weasel his way out of it by putting all of the blame and onus onto her friend, instead of actually just taking accountability for his actions. Then, when he found out, oh shit, I've been caught and she heard everything, now I have to backpedal and try to find some better excuse. In this case, I just didn't know how to handle the attention, which I think is bullshit personally. But yeah, how would you all react? Would you guys give him another chance, or is this something where you would definitely just break off the relationship at the party regardless of making a scene or not? I'd be pretty curious to see how my audience would feel about this, because I'm definitely in the boat that this is a justified breakup in my eyes. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, of course, Satan is not a pogo stick. This was originally posted by user Competitive Spinach to r/legal advice February 28, 2018. Toronto, Ontario. Single person now owns more than 50% of my building's condo units, dissolved condo board and installed themselves. Now she is telling us at the end of the month we won't have our parking spots anymore. Is this legal? I bought my condo brand new in 2014. It was a small building, around 32 units, on 4 floors. It was in a really nice location and I paid a fair amount for my unit. When I first moved in, we had a condo management company, who did a fine job. Unfortunately, late last year, we discovered at the board meeting that someone had now owned over 50% of the condos. This person is someone who on several occasions had tried to pressure me into selling my condo to her. She was offering less than what I paid, and I wouldn't be able to find an equivalent condo in the same area for the amount she was offering. This person basically voted by herself to dissolve the condo board and elected herself as the sole person in charge of everything. Today, I received a letter from our new Condo Overlord which states, by March 1st, our parking spots are no longer going to be available. If we want to keep our spots, we must pay $175 a month. Failure to do so will result in our cars being towed. I have paperwork from when I bought my condo. Parking spot 3C was included in my purchase. When I pointed this out to her about this, I was told to more or less go fuck myself. And if my car is there on March 1st, it will be towed. I basically have a single day to figure out what to do, since this comes into effect tomorrow. Do I go try to find legal advice right now? Relevant comments. Hoser2112. You definitely need a lawyer. The condo board must comprise of at least 3 owners, and must act in the best interest of all owners. There are provisions in the Condo Act to force a board to do things or not to do things. In one case, the board was ordered to personally pay legal costs and the costs of restoring a parking lot to its original condition. OP responds, I'm going to meet one tomorrow for a consult. I managed to get 2 other owners to go on board with us fighting it. However, I did find out that the board does actually have 3 owners. One of them is apparently her husband, and the other is someone who is related to her. Neither she or her husband actually live in the building. OP added more information on what the new owner has done to the complex. I'm probably going to move because everything is going to shit. She has done almost no maintenance, and the person who was responsible for cleaning the general use areas was let go. We have had 2 of the 6 washing machines have been broken since Christmas. If my car is towed tomorrow, what legal recourse do I have? Because according to what is written down on my ownership is I own spot 3C. Edit. I have managed to get 3 other people in our building together to see a lawyer tomorrow. To explain a few things, I do have a title to my parking spot that, from my understanding, basically says I own that parking spot. We only have around 18 parking spots and there are more tenants than spots available. I have nowhere to park besides my parking lot. Street parking is basically good for an hour tops, and trying to find a place is like looking for a needle in a haystack. I found out today she isn't the sole overlord of our condo board. Apparently there are 2 board members, one is her husband and the other is related to her. Her husband owns a towing company. Apparently someone is moving into the building tomorrow and has paid for my spot, so if I am not gone by midnight, she is towing my car. Update, March 10th, 2018. I wanted to thank everyone for the advice. Me and several other tenants got on board with a lawyer who promptly wrote her a rather verbal letter, which kindly and suggestively told her to pound sand. Since that letter, she has completely stopped and retracted all her statements about parking no longer being ours. On top of this, one of the other tenants apparently tipped off a Toronto newspaper. I haven't seen an article, however. In response to this, it seems like she has completely changed her mind/policy on maintaining the building. Now we have someone who actually seems to come every day to properly perform cleaning and maintenance. Sadly, regardless of all these changes, I am planning on getting out ASAP, because unfortunately, I feel after a few months she will probably change her mind/opinion on everything. Edit, I forgot to mention. On the night she threatened to have people's cars towed, both me and another person recorded the tow truck driver, trying to set up a tow for my neighbor's car. After confronting the tow truck driver about how he was illegally trying to tow someone's car, he immediately took off. We passed that along to the lawyer. So, unfortunately, I actually think OP probably fell for the condo slumlord's trap, where basically what she does is she buys up most of the condos, takes over the board, decreases the quality of life there, forcing people to sell their condos at under market value, buys them back up, and congratulations! She now has an entire condo complex to herself that she can now jack the prices up on and sell the condos back to other people for much higher margins. Chances are, she's probably been making a complete business out of this for a while, and this isn't her first time doing this. Hell, I know a lot of people who'd become slumlords for this exact reason, where they'll go out of their way to set things up like this, purposely push out and dissolve the previous condo board, then stack the board with people they know, and then on top of that, make life hell for usual residents. Because the thing is while you might think to yourself, there's no way in hell I'd sell my condo, I'm gonna put up with this. The moment legal gets involved, and this lady clearly has far more money than OP does, she can kinda just drag him around and make his life hell, tow his car every now and then, pay a fine for illegally towing, and just do a bunch of bullshit. That's just going to make everyone's life hell who puts up resistance until they finally give in and quit. The thing is, this is in Canada. This is happening in Toronto of all places. Imagine what the hell is happening in the States, because I guarantee to you, whatever bullshit we have going on down here just by the nature of the US is probably far more worse than whatever Toronto is dealing with. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if OP's Condo Overlord came from the United States and learned the practices from the United States. Because unfortunately, well, at least in the US, if you're trying to prove that your Condo Overlord is doing something illegal, get prepared for a lengthy legal battle, because the US legal system is kind of unfortunately based around whoever the hell can pay the lawyers the longest, and, you know, that's not a good thing to have. And the Condo Overlord? Definitely gonna have that money. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, without censorship, Satan is not a fucking pogo stick. Originally posted by Gonzo Fish to r/relationship advice on April 24th, 2019. My 31 male, wife 37 female, will no longer let me pursue my hobbies. Exactly as the title implies, she says I'm not allowed to pursue my own hobbies anymore as they are unhealthy. Before our marriage 7 months ago, I was interested in all sorts of things. Playing video games for at least a few hours per week, collecting Star Wars figures. Some may say that was a bit childish. Anyways, but I enjoy it nonetheless. Painting Warhammer 40k, my man! These are things that I had done since my early teens. My wife wanted us to make healthy lifestyle changes after our marriage, which at first I took as just eating healthier, exercising, etc. I was totally on board for it. Everything was fine until I went down to the basement one day and noticed all of my Star Wars figures gone from the display shelf. All that remained were some limbs from a few of the figures. My wife was at work, so I sent her a text asking what happened to them. In the meantime, I rummaged through all the garbages and finally found the figures in the bigger garbage next to the garage. Most of the cards were torn up and the figures dismembered, while others were completely burned or melted. I took a picture and sent it to her, asking if she did it. That night, after not replying to any of my texts, I confronted her. It turned into a huge argument about how my hobbies are immature and that she was repulsed by them, even threatening to not have sex with me until I gave them up. In the heat of the moment, I agreed with her, if only to get her to stop yelling at me. We haven't talked about it since, and I've unfortunately been abiding by her rules for the past 7 months, though I've been secretly playing video games, buying figures, etc. She only found out about it one time, and she destroyed it immediately. I can't keep this up any longer. I want to have my own hobbies without her getting upset. What is the best way to bring the subject up again, and how can I let her know how much my hobbies mean to me? Too long didn't read, my wife won't let me pursue my hobbies, and I don't know how to come to an agreement with her. Before we get to the relevant comments, I'm going to state this again one more time because this is just advice to live by. Never date or marry someone you feel you have to hide your stuffed animals from. It's from a Tumblr post, but it is words to live by, and same goes for guys. Never date a girl you feel you have to hide your hobbies from. It goes both ways. Anyways, relevant comments, deleted user. This is abusive. She loved you for years while you did your hobbies, so what's changed now? She's shaming you for your passion and throwing out and destroying your stuff without talking to you about it. Was this a long-time argument? Did she get after you for gaming/having your collectibles, or was it just one day she had enough? OP responds, we had a few small disagreements in the past about me playing video games, but it was mainly just because I had played for too many hours. She never said a word about any of my collectibles. Top comments. Dad of 2 boys. You are 31 years old. Your wife doesn't get to let you do stuff. You get to do stuff on your own terms. She's being completely unreasonable and very controlling. I'm not gonna lie, when he said you're 31 years old, I thought it was gonna go a very different direction. Single-use pseudonym responds, exactly this. Marriage doesn't mean she's your mom or your boss, you are still your own person. Yeah, take your partner into consideration and all, but Jesus fuck, your wife, husband, partner doesn't have the right to tell you what you are allowed to do. Hella controlling partners are not healthy, not sustainable, and don't make for a happy environment. Dad of 2 boys responds, the melting and ripping up his Star Wars stuff is insane. How would his wife feel if he decided he only wanted to see her in revealing clothes? So he just cut up and threw out all her favorite clothes, but kept the ones. Edit, thank you all so much for the words of support and guidance. It truly means a lot. Getting a different perspective on this has made me realize that she may be going through some internal or mental issues. She was the love of my life before all this, and I'm not going to give up on her by just getting a divorce without knowing the reason for her acting this way. I'm going to ask if she would be willing to go to a therapy session and move on from there. Update 2, posted April 25th, 2019, same post, next day. Edit 2, currently at my best friend's house drafting an email to send to my lawyer first thing in the morning. I had decided to hook my Xbox up to the living room television and gauge what my wife's reaction would be when she came home from work, and she saw me playing. She immediately went to our bedroom and slammed the door. I walked in on her angrily texting something on her phone before she screamed at me that I was going back on my promises, and that playing games is unhealthy. I kept telling her that I deserved to have my own hobbies, and she told me that no real husband has those kinds of hobbies. I basically told her that she was free to go find a real husband, and I packed a small bag and drove to my friend's house. I feel kind of relieved, but also sick to my stomach. I will keep updating when I can. You're all supportive and deserve to be kept in the loop. Top comments. XVS0. I'm gonna be real with you. You cannot stay with this abusive woman and live a happy life. Divorce sucks, but admitting you made a mistake in choosing a partner and moving on now is better than admitting it after wasting 5 or 10 or 20 more years being unhappy in this mess. Now, here's another perspective. My fiancé is not into video games or action figures, but I still have a ton of video games and action figures displayed prominently in our living room because I'm into them and she likes when I'm happy. That's how healthy relationships work. The phrase has been changed to find yourself a spouse or partner who's willing to display your stuffed animals. Edit 3. My wife has been texting me nonstop, asking where I went and telling me to come back to the house. She even claims she was pregnant and that I was abandoning my own child, only to backtrack a few minutes later. I'm making, oh shit, that is, oh my god. Wow, that took me a second to process, oh my god. Jesus. I'm making sure to save all of these texts in case my lawyer thinks they could come in use. Update 4, posted April 26th, 2019, same post, 2 days later. Edit 4, spent the morning talking to my family and a few of my other friends about this situation. They all agreed that a divorce needs to happen, whether or not she is mentally ill. My sister even said that she had a bad feeling about her, but saw how happy I was and didn't want to impose at the time. My lawyer has suggested not to confront or communicate with my wife until divorce proceedings can be put into motion. Currently going to my house while she's at work to gather my valuable belongings. Last update posted, June 5th, 2019, same post, a little over 2 months later. Edit 5. Not sure if anybody is still keeping up with my posts, but I figured I would give another update. The divorce proceedings are currently underway. My ex-wife has been incredibly apologetic for not only the main incident in my post, but also for how she's been treating me in general. She has also agreed to pay me a lump sum for the figures. We came to a mutual agreement in terms of the value. Overall, she has been acting surprisingly reasonable throughout all of this. I feel like this is a positive turning point in my life. Thank you all for giving me the courage to finally take action. I really hope OP didn't end up going back to his ex-wife, because that is just not a relationship to be in. Even if, at the time being, she's being gentle and remorseful now, she might flip a switch again. You don't know. Like, she went from tolerating and being okay with you having your collection to then just suddenly disfiguring, burning, dismembering, and tearing up all of your figures without even consulting you first. I also wonder if she got a rude awakening where maybe she had one friend nagging in her ear like, oh, your husband is so immature, and it finally got under her skin. Then when she started telling other people about what she did, they were all like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Holy shit. That's of course my tinfoil hat theory on that one of what I think happened for why she 180'd so quickly in this time span of 2 months. But still, my statement in general is going to always stand. Find someone who you don't feel like you have to hide your stuffed animals from. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.